forth. We always love to have these. You had a great turnout last time, didn't you, for your
Yeah,
meditation?
yeah.
Wow, fantastic. Good to hear. But you're down in Mexico, and we want to talk about that first. Your boots on the ground, and there's some action going on. What can you tell us?
Well, first of all, Honey feels bad she couldn't make it, but yeah, it's been crazy. I'm actually in a part of the Yucatan outside of Merida, which is the safest place in all of Mexico because the cartel families live here. And they have this agreement that they don't touch this area. So if you looked at the map that they were posting online that showed like areas to go and not to go, I was in the blue area, which was the safe zone.
Wow.
Yeah. So what's wild is all the places that I went last winter in Puerto Vallarta and
Hmm.
Jalisco, Guadalajara, Manzanillo, that those areas all got hit, and I have a lot of friends in those areas. I've spoken to a couple of friends. Do you know Scotty Sachs?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he lives in Puerto Vallarta.
I didn't know that.
So
Must have
yeah,
been.
yeah. I
He's a good
spent
man.
time,
Yeah.
yeah, I spent time with him last year. I checked on him. He sent me a video of the local pharmacy around the corner from his place in flames.
Mm, wow.
But things seem to have calmed down a lot. They've
Good.
reopened things, people are out and about. And I wanted to ask you this because I've been doing a lot of research about what's going on. Because I found out that the Mexican cartel had approved 3 days prior that the U.S. Special Forces could come into Mexico to do some exercises. So they approved that a couple days in advance. And I know people who saw actually military 2 days beforehand in the area. So they were scoping everything out and getting ready
Mm.
for what was happening. But the crazy part is, and I don't know if this is the cartel or something that special forces would do to round people up, they were digging up the roads and surrounding the entire city. But they weren't really going after I mean, if they really wanted to go after the people who were staying there, they could have had a bloodbath, right?
Yeah, so the cartels are trying to, from what I've been hearing, are trying to control the towns, and success in some areas, maybe not as much in the others. But the reason why they probably called in special forces or gave them the green light to come in because they knew they were going to do this hit, and there's Americans, and the cartel might do come in and grab some, for safe, for their safety, I guess, grab some Americans to try to keep everybody away. And then once you do that, then that's going to activate the, my old team, SEAL Team 6 in Delta, where they're specialized in hostage rescue. So they may have activated it because of that. So we'll see. Hopefully, it doesn't get more aggravated. But if we do see that, we're probably going to see special forces guys come in and do rescue missions.
Yeah, we haven't seen really much of that. I have a
Hmm.
friend who was in the Guadalajara airport when when the gunman was in there. They all, ran and sheltered, and they closed the airports up. But the airports have all reopened, I think,
Wow.
except Puerto Vallarta.
Hmm.
But Cancun is back. All the other airports, it's just the traffic that they're dealing with, of all the cancellations. A lot of people are canceling coming down here. What was interesting also is El Mencho. I find it interesting his name is El Mencho because in Yiddish, which is a combination of Hebrew and German that's
Hmm.
spoken as a dialect, Mensch means a really good guy. And I laugh because I call him El Mencho. And I was like, that's really weird.
Well, maybe to the cartel guys, but who knows? Maybe the public, because he was, I don't know what his situation was, but we have heard that the cartels basically, like you're saying, they live there, so they hands off. Now I've been down there. I was in uh, almost a year ago. I was in Puerto Vallarta area, for a LifeWave event that I won, and I didn't get any bad vibes, but I was like, something is getting a little sketchy here.
Yeah.
I felt it out before I left. Now, obviously, you're intuitive. You coming down. How did it feel for you coming down?
Well, I didn't go to that park, so I'm into the Yucatan, and it's interesting that you asked that because, and I've had some talks with Honey. I'm bummed that she didn't make it to this because she had some really great insight.
Oh
Because
wow.
I'm in an area where, how do I explain it? I landed here and I got here, but I couldn't get grounded for like 2 weeks.
Oh.
The energy was so wonky and weird. And
Hmm.
even the person I'm with who's not aware of the stuff that, any of this stuff, she
Yeah.
was really struggling as well.
Huh.
And I was talking to Honey about it, and she said that the matrix was dismantling here. So it was kind of disappearing. But here's the fascinating thing that happened, and I love the way the universe works. I was taking pictures from my balcony because I'm on the beach overlooking, like literally overlooking the Gulf. And I
Beautiful.
was taking pictures and I usually get like little things on my phone. I can see spirit and things. And I was like, this was a large oval.
Hmm.
So I sent it to Honey and she said, that's an interdimensional, intergalactic portal.
Wow.
And I have the photo on my phone, and she said, you're there to stabilize the area
Hmm.
because the portal needed to be stabilized. And so in that 2 weeks' time, it was stabilized. And then I was meditating this morning and I got a message. In order to be part of the cartel, they sell their soul.
Yeah.
They have to kill someone and then they have to eat them. It's
Oh
all
wow.
part of like when they get up really high up.
Yeah.
So they needed to clear out the demonics out of that portal before this happened.
Hmm.
So that portal had to be stabilized. So I just found that fascinating. And so this whole area is also where the Mayan ruins are,
Yep.
which
Sacrifice.
are, but also, if you've been here, if you see how steep it is and the steps, a regular human foot and a regular human like us, it's not meant for us. The
Yeah.
steps you can't even, you have to walk up diagonally and it's really steep. And one of the ruins that I went to said the place for the ants. And I was like, huh, I think the ant people,
And people. Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. I traveled down there long ago, back in the early '80s, when you could, uh, go all over the place. And you're right. You had to walk up sideways, um, because the steps are so steep and so close and so forth. So almost like, giants or whatever were, walking up those, and in inside the pyramids. You go inside the pyramids. Of course, they have lights now, or they used to. You used to go in them. I don't think you
can't
can.
go in them.
Yeah, but they had electric lights. But they didn't have electric lights back then. So it's very similar to what we've seen in, I believe, and we've heard people talk about it, where they had a chemical type, jar that would make the light, and it had like a top covering that was alabaster or something like that. We've seen those in Egypt and so forth. So I think that they had that technology back then, because if you had torches in there, the thing would be like totally black, and they're not black. So
Well, they also didn't have much water either. I mean, it's the dry season is pretty dry.
hmm,
So they had to adapt in some way because even with the rainy season, I mean, having enough water to be able to survive in the jungle. And a friend of mine was showing me, she was reading a book about the Mayan ruins actually form like a spiral, and each one relates to a different chakra in the earth. So they were definitely aware of power lines, ley lines, and things like that, and the way that they were positioned. So
Yeah.
I just found that really interesting.
I'm sure you've probably been in some of the sinkholes. Uh, they're
Oh, the
they're
cenotes?
cenotes, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
So they're, got lots of water down there, and they lead to all kinds of different places. So I've traveled in some of them. They're pretty fun. Um, Tulum, I went to Tulum. They had a lot of tunnel systems in that area, but they're into women and child sacrifice, and so now we see the cartels are doing the same thing. It's like, just like you're talking about, that demonic type of energy is still there and has to be cleansed.
Yeah, what's interesting is they talk about this is supposed to be an area where an asteroid came down and hit. Actually, that's right where I'm staying.
Mm.
And but what's interesting is when they depict photos of it, it also looks like Atlantis,
Yeah.
like old photos. And it's one of the only areas in Mexico where they have what they're called cenotes, which are freshwater, like
Hmm.
swimming holes, but a lot of them are in caves.
Yep.
And they're beautiful. Like the color of the water is like this
Crystal blue.
luminescent, they're blue and green. And yeah, they're very well protected, but those are only in the area where this happened,
Hmm.
supposedly. So they have stuff about dinosaurs all over the place and museums where they say that this is where all the dinosaurs were.
Yeah, and there's some city there that's called Atlan, and they have like some kind of, you know like you're talking about, asteroid hitting, excuse me, and causing devastation, and they are leaving. Look like they're leaving an island that's sinking, and they're coming to Mexico. So there's all kinds of interesting stories.
Yeah.
But the problem is, like you're talking about, that's amazing, because that's kind of what the work that I would do in the Middle East. Uh, pretty advanced stuff, where you came in and you keep the energies down so that there's no violence. It sounds like that's what you're doing there. It's beautiful. Too bad that we don't have the energy to, like, make it spread all around the whole country, but at least you're having some effect, and that's part of what you do with your meditations and so forth.
Yeah. So just because when I first got here, and I want to talk about those too, I
Yeah.
felt like I was just dealing with NPCs and like living in a hologram.
Hmm.
Like no one would look me in the eye.
Wow.
People were just like on autopilot. Because when I travel, I love meeting people,
Yeah.
and usually right away we'll meet a few people and like go out to dinner or gather, and no one would connect. And there's also a lot of it's mostly Canadians here who are staying around here. And the minute I say that I'm an American, they jump back, like almost like they're terrified of me. Like, I'm not going to do anything to you, I promise. But it's really sad because I see like a cultural divide happening where Canadians were always so warm and welcome and
Yeah.
loving, and those that I find in Mexico who are here as like snowbirds,
Hmm.
they are really angry. There's a lot of Trump derangement syndrome. A
Oh,
lot
wow.
of them will avoid me. They won't look me in the eye. Really angry.
Must not be from that one province that's thinking
Oh,
about leaving.
Alberta, Alberta.
Alberta.
No, they're not. They're all from Ontario over here. But
Okay.
yeah, it's been really interesting. And I found out that the cartels are the fifth largest employers in all of Mexico.
Yeah, because they run all those resorts.
But they
Control them.
run everything.
Those resorts are amazing. And
Oh,
when I
yeah.
was at the resort that I was at in Puerto Vallarta recently, it was exquisite. It was beautiful, and you could see. And I knew that's what it was, because I talked to some people, and they're like, "Yeah, uh, it's controlled here. They make sure that nothing happens because they're making money, and that's one of the, and that's a good thing." We just keep them from doing the demonic stuff. That's great. So,
Yeah. No, the sad part is they also, if anyone tries to start a business or suddenly become successful, it's like they're the mob, and so they come over and they take it, or
wow.
they ask for 15%
Oh,
that you have to pay them,
tax them,
and
huh?
they were siphoning off.
Sounds
I
like the
just saw
American
some.
government.
Yeah. They're also siphoning and stealing the gas and diesel,
Wow.
the oil and diesel. So what's happened is millions of gallons are being controlled by them, and they're selling it on a separate market, on the black market.
Hmm.
So I think that was also probably the impetus for the U.S. to come in, because they're paying 15% on all of that. But
Hmm.
they own the avocado industry. They own the all the resorts. I shouldn't say all, but a lot. I'm sure they do. Restaurants, nightclubs. They have their hands in everything. And I don't know if you saw how he died. Mencho died in the air going to Mexico City. And I heard someone say that they thought that Claudio Scheinbaum actually said to kill him because they were afraid that he was going to give away people. And they got hold of a laptop. Did you hear about the laptop?
I did. So they have a
Yeah.
lot of names. Wow. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I saw that they have 211 names
Hmm.
of very, very high level people in media, people
And that's there in Mexico,
sitting, no, in the US,
in the
members of
U.S.
Congress,
Oh,
members of Congress, A-list Hollywood stars, Silicon Valley billionaires,
hmm.
Wall Street hedge fund owners. They were looking for uh, it was child trafficking, and
And
also
body parts.
organ and
Yeah.
body parts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
Wow.
those they have it all. They got it to the within 48 hours they had cracked it, and they got it to the president. So they have
Hmm.
all those names.
So she seems like she's more in power now. Because before everybody was saying there's no way she's going to go against the cartel because they control her. But it sounds like maybe
Yeah.
with the U.S. help that they're protecting her and she's going to turn the tide on them. Now, somebody
Yeah.
said in the chat, I am in Alberta, and the same divide is happening in Canada, east against the west.
Yeah. Yeah. It's really hard because Canadians have always been known as like really like loving, kind. They say they're sorry all the time. I can always tell the Canadian because they're always saying sorry.
Yeah.
And they're really angry. They're really angry
Yeah.
about the U.S. and the tariffs and everything. And of course, I have a lot of friends up there, and they talk about how their own media has been limited. So their social media. And so they're even getting less information than they do in the US.
Right. Yeah.
And
They're
so,
they're really locking down Canada, unfortunately,
yeah,
and controlling the masses. And that thing where teenagers or children can go and you know uh, you know get taken out. Like I'm having a bad day and I
made,
don't feel good, and I
yeah, made. It's
yeah
horrible. It's
yeah.
horrible. Yeah,
So it sounds
I
like
don't understand.
we have a demonic government up there in Canada, and some people
Yeah,
have latched onto it, unfortunately.
yeah, Carney.
Yeah.
The other thing is
His daughter or his son or whatever it is now has made that transition. So there's some problems there.
It's really awful. Yeah,
Yeah.
and the other thing that I found in Mexico, they found basically an extermination camp. They found this huge
Whoa.
hole in Jalisco, which is south of Puerto Vallarta, where they found a huge burial area with bodies everywhere. And they brought in a bunch of, I think it was sulfuric acid to put all the bones and bodies in to liquefy everything. But that's been uncovered as well. So there's a lot of trying to cover up. But this was, I think, the most notorious of all of the this particular group, and they were key to trafficking all over South America and I think all over the world. They were ruthless, like really evil.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty heavily involved in the United States, and we're probably gonna see that, because if we're gonna go to war with them, they're gonna start to erupt in the United States as well.
Well, I guess, was it last week, Mexico handed over 100 cartel heads of cartel and people high up to the U.S.
Wow, I didn't even
Yeah,
know that.
before they invaded. Yeah,
Huh.
it was kind of like this happened, but look over here, kind of thing.
Yeah, yeah.
But I just saw something to that, so I'm sure they got a lot of information from them as well.
Hmm. So it says, I'm in Ontario, Canada. The Canadian government insists that they were not informed before El Mencho was taken. Can't be trusted? Question mark. So I don't know why they would tell the Canadian government, because then they would rat it out. So they'll be, what are you thinking?
What do they
That
say?
would blow the whole operation.
Exactly, none ya business.
Exactly. Yeah, it's
So,
it's a mess, because we know that these people, and that's why Trump has been so quiet about every mission so far.
yeah.
They will, the deep state, whatever they are. We just talked about this on my alien disclosure with Kerry Cassidy and Lauren Eisenhower, myself, and Scott McKay and David Nino Rodriguez. We all talked about how it's tied to Epstein, the child trafficking, the adrenochrome, the cannibalism, all that stuff. And as it basically gets disclosed, and we start to see, it goes to the aliens, right? The Draco or whatever, we're going to find out. I think it's Draco, but so this infiltration down there, the Draco, you see the reptilian mottos everywhere, all throughout Egypt. Down there, they're big into the reptilian stuff. So, what are your thoughts on that?
I agree, because no human can do what these beings are
Good point.
doing to with children. Humans have too much of a conscience and a heart and a
Yeah,
soul. And you would have to be soulless, literally. It's just I think that this is all getting rid of these beings that started, because one human being, Jeffrey Epstein, couldn't mastermind all of this.
no,
He was a placeholder.
yeah,
But I think, honestly, I think that when you sell your soul, right, and you have these demons entering you, then you would have the ability to do it, because people who are looking at things like, I saw enough 7 years ago when I started to research. I saw bits and pieces, and I was like, I don't want to see anymore. I
yeah,
don't need the nightmares. And I see that people were posting on X and little snippets, and I was like, oh, something I'll never unsee.
right,
So yeah, I honestly believe that that's true, and that is going to connect it. And because no human wants to eat, that I know of, would want to eat a child or dismember them while they're still alive and torture them the way they did.
yeah, and yeah. Unfortunately, like you're saying, you hear and you see stuff. I've heard and seen stuff that I'm not going to share, but
Yeah.
and I don't want to know anymore either. But I
Yeah.
know there's a lot more, a lot more. These deep underground military bases are these, whatever you want to call them. When you say military base, you think of American military or some kind of military, but these are reptilian a lot of times, and they do They raise children in those bases for edibles, and they also have those children do some of their children, which are some of our elite, are involved in certain things as well, and that's how they grow up. So they're
Yeah.
traumatized, and then they go out and go forth and they do things, lie and traumatize us with all their madness. So it's going to be pretty tough, cleaning all this up. So you're down amongst it right now. One of
Yeah.
the areas is going to be cleaned up. Another area is probably going to be Iran pretty soon. And we've seen Venezuela, the start of Venezuela, some point Cuba. So it's a massive cleanup project that's going to be ongoing. So you're going to have to be really heads up in some of these areas.
Yeah, I have a friend who was part of the Monarch program as a young child, and she's a brilliant, brilliant healer. And she was actually visited by extraterrestrials who said to her, "We don't know how you survived what you did, and we're really proud of you." They
Wow.
came to her at night, and she said they were huge. And I've said that to her too. It's extraordinary when you see the likes of people like Kathy O'Brien,
Hmm.
Laura Worley, all those people, nameless people who have experienced what they have. Um, the demonics, all of that. It's just pure evil. I'm looking forward for us moving into a whole new place where they don't exist anymore. That we can just be in that place of love.
Yeah. And to do that, you have to be in the right mind state, and you have
Yeah,
to have your vibratory frequency at the right state.
yeah,
And I know you're involved with LifeWave like I am, and
yeah,
you've done a really really amazing job, and you got a lot of people coming over to help work with you and so forth. So that your insights, I think, will probably be very impressive and helpful for people as they move into LifeWave and start using the product and using them through you and your team, because your team's doing really well.
yeah. No, it's exciting. I found um, everything started to change. It wasn't right away. Like some people see results right away. I didn't. And our friend Brad was like, just keep going, just give it a few more months. I'm like, I'm not noticing it and I'm not going to sell it unless I feel a difference. And we would have these
Yep.
little arguments. And then finally, I'm like, I just lost 10 pounds and I didn't do anything different. My workouts are getting better. Wow, I look in the mirror and I feel like I look younger. It was very subtle for me because I
Mhm.
didn't have anything big. For some people have really significant issues and they have miracles. But what I have had is, I don't know why, but the past year I've been very clumsy and I've tripped and fallen and twisted my ankle and broke my toe. And without the LifeWave patches, I would have been in serious trouble. They really helped me a lot. So, and I see so many miracles that happen with friends of things that really, it's not just physical, it's emotional.
Yeah.
We have people who've experienced trauma and it helps with their nervous system, calm people down, helping people sleep. No, it's awesome. And I still haven't tried the water yet. I've been debating buying, really committing and buying that water machine. But I do the, what's that powder, the cellularize, which
Oh,
I
okay.
like a lot. So I
Yeah.
do that every day.
Very nice.
Yeah.
And you have someone that's dear to everybody's heart too, Kevin Hoyt, that's in
Yes.
your team as well.
Yeah.
He had to step away for a little bit,
Yeah.
but if someone is still interested, and you would help them and maybe put them in Kevin's team, because that
Yeah.
helps him in his little journey that he's on right now, trying to stay low
Yeah.
until things turn around. So that's another great thing. Now, so we got the energy work, from the patches, and then you do the quantum stuff. Now, I was absolutely amazed because I was using the patches for a long time, and I'm very very strict about my diet and my workouts and everything. but I did dark field microscopy. We've talked about this in other shows,
Yeah.
and I was just like, when I saw the dark field microscopy, I was like, my cells were like, clumping together, which doesn't transport your oxygen very well. So I was like, oh, that's not good. And then I hooked up with you, and you gave me a meditation. I went back and got another view, and it was all flowing nicely. So and you talk about how Jesus came, and then Jesus came through for me when I
Yeah.
was in that meditation with you. He literally came in, and uh, I was just stunned. And you're like, I'm Jewish, and we had the Christian guy comes in. And I'm like, well, he wasn't Christian back then, so
No, it's really interesting for me because I find that in my life I get guided a lot.
yeah,
Like things just come to me, and I open myself up and I surrender. So when I started doing this work, I had no expectations because I really I had to allow it to unfold to what it was. My motivation was because people very close to me had what you call the jabaroo, and I was worried about
mm,
their health and
yeah,
safety. So that's why I started doing the dark field microscopy. Was how do I prove to these people that this is actually making a difference? And so a friend in functional medicine who's a specialist recommended that. And when I started seeing the results and people like, well, what if I don't believe in it? And I said, you don't have to believe in it for it to work, but you can call it back if you don't maintain it, because your emotional and mental state will impact your physical body. So it's really important to keep your thoughts and your belief systems in check. I was thinking about this. There were two 70-year-old women that I know who are out just outside of Puerto Vallarta, and they talked about how the helicopters were right overhead, and they're like, F this, they're not going to ruin my vacation. And they literally yesterday went whale watching. And
love it,
they
love
could
it.
open back up. But it's all in your whole mentality of how you
Yeah,
decide you want to live your life, and do you want to let fear get the best of you, or you're going to live your life. And the more I clear my trauma, the more I clear my fears, the less gets in my way, and the more I start to live this amazing life where things just continue to happen more and more to me. And I wanted to give that to others. And so I do that individually. And then Honey and I, Honey C. Golden, who's an amazing healer,
yeah.
we team up once a month and do two group healings. So this Thursday, the 26th February, we're doing it's 12 o'clock Eastern and 4 o'clock Eastern. But we go into the Akashic Records. We do past life clearing, ancestral clearing. We give a lot of value. And a friend of mine who is Liz Perkins, who's an amazing healer. She's got her master's in botany, speaks to trees and nature and
Mm,
extraterrestrials. She's really brilliant. She's on now as well, and she gives people advice on what to do and helping them. We have a signal chat where people help each other out. So it's become this amazing support system. So I love the way that like the life wave keeps people, reverse aging,
yeah,
and it helps people heal faster. And then this is also, they really complement each other.
yeah. And I definitely see it in you. You definitely are age reversing. You look fantastic. I remember seeing you years ago, and I've seen you more recently, and you look stunning. So
Wow,
very, very
thank
good job.
you.
Yeah.
63-year-old new grandma.
Wow. Congratulations. Yeah, that's good. But that's, you want to stay young, and it basically helps you do that. And of course, the meditation helps as well, as I
Yes.
can attribute to, because it definitely helped me on another level. I was already at another level, and then I went another level again. So and I've done meditations. I'm like, well, what could this meditation be like? I've led meditations. I can go into that state instantaneously. I've had people come up to me and that were university trained, and did university studies and all kind of crazy stuff. And they're like, "Do you know that your meditation is like unbelievable?" I was like, "No, I just do it, you know." But your meditation, you and Honey Golden's meditation, is absolutely phenomenal,
Yeah.
and I feel enriched every time I do it on multiple levels. So I can't believe the how inexpensive it
Yeah.
is
It's
to do that.
$44 make it available to as many people as
Yeah,
possible because um, it's really hard. Like when people want to do sessions with me and they say they can't afford it, it breaks my heart.
yeah.
And so we wanted to make something that's available to as many people and also their pets. We
Oh,
had yeah, you can bring your cats and your dogs in too. As a matter of fact, Liz had come to my house. She lives in Vermont, and she brought her dog, who was I think 16, and he was in so much pain with his arthritis that he was panting and he couldn't sit down or lay down.
mm,
And we did the healing. He was there for both healings. And the next day, he was like a puppy. And he's still that way. It's really cool. He's really like a whole nother dog. And so we always say leave the door open to allow the pets to come in and out because some of them will just fall asleep right there and stay. And others say, I've gotten enough. It's time for me to leave. And you want to give them that out. But yeah, and if you can't make those times, you can get the recordings. And the recordings are just as powerful and people come to one or they come to both. We have about 3/4 of the people come to both. And there's we give a lot of time for Q&A. So if you have questions, Honey is a psychic intuitive. So people ask all about things in their lives and it's been a lot of fun.
yeah, absolutely. And I'm gonna share the screen and put it's in the description box for the quantum healing on 12726. And the times again are
I think it's the 26th. It's
26.
it's Thursday. I just want to make sure. Yeah, it's
Oh,
Thursday,
I've got
the
the old link.
26th. Yeah.
I got you. All right. So I need to change the link.
The link is the same. It's just the time.
Okay, just the time's different. Okay,
Yeah.
good. So good. So use Michael Jaco and you get 11% off. And so it's already ridiculously low, and you get a discount on top of that. So it's fantastic. And what do you see coming in the future as far as like Mexico? Do you think it's going to accelerate in problems? It sounds like it's starting to downsize a little bit, but do you
I
think it
think
might?
it's downsizing.
Mhm.
I was a little nervous that it would start spreading,
Yeah.
but when special forces come in, I heard someone gave me a number. I don't know if it's true that over 9,000 military we're gonna be arriving in the area. I think that they're already going in and taking people out and getting them out. You don't come in and just chop the head off and leave everyone to scurry, right? Because otherwise they're out of control. There's no one running it, and they're just not managing things well, right? It's the
Right.
head of a corporation, and suddenly now you've got all these minions trying to figure things out. So now's the time to come in and clean house. So intuitively, that felt like that for me. I can't imagine that they would just take one because they just get replaced, right?
Yeah.
It's like hitting a bee's nest or a wasp nest, and then they're running around freaking out. So I don't know. You would know more about the military part than I do, but it looks like everything has normalized here. And I registered with the local embassy, and
Mhm.
they just said that just be on alert, but you're okay to stay.
Hmm. Good to know. Yeah. I think it's going to be. I think it's going to work out. There might
Yeah.
be some, some more action, but the U.S. military is probably on the ground helping out and maybe doing some rescues here and there if they need to. But overall, it's going to be better in the future.
Yeah.
As you and I know, Mexico is absolutely fantastic. I used to go to Mexico when I was in my early 20s, across the border in San Diego, and it was a mess. And but down there where you're at, it is exquisite. It's like
It is.
you can't find for the price and the service. You can't find that anywhere in America.
No, and here's something that people need to understand. The 99% of the people here, they don't want the cartels here. And here's something else.
Hmm.
With all the travel I've done around Mexico, I am hard to find. I have never seen a heroin addict, a strung out drug addict on the streets here. Doesn't
Wow.
happen. It's all the drugs that go to the US. It all goes there. You might see some homeless people, but they're usually sick, or there might be some mental illness, but you don't see much of it. You really
Wow.
don't. There's a lot of poverty, but you don't see like in Burlington, Vermont, where I live, they did the defund the police, and it's insanity. The stores are closing because there's heroin addicts everywhere. They're breaking in, stealing. You literally watch people everywhere on the streets, right in downtown. So they still need to clean up. We need to clean up our the US and what's going on there for the demand. You got to clean up the demand.
Yeah. Well, we get it from the source and clean it at the source, and that'll help downstream, and then get those people that are, addicted, to get them some really good help.
Yeah.
Get them into some of your meditations. That'd be good.
Exactly.
It really would be. Yeah,
No.
really be good. All right, Lisa. Any final words?
No, I just hope as many people as they can to join us on Thursday.
Absolutely.
It's really, really profound, and excited to see everyone there. And thank you again for having me. I appreciate it, and I love our conversations.
Yeah, it's great. And you gave us a lot of insight to what's going on down there. So this was beneficial on many levels. So thank you much.
Well, I needed to do research to see if I should stay or not, so I was watching everything. I was like,
Should I stay or should I go now?
exactly. I'm like, I think I'm going to stay for a while. I have another month here.
If I stay, there may be trouble, but I guess not for you.
Exactly.
You're
Not for
basically
me.
sending out those good vibes, those good
Exactly.
vibrations. Yeah, good for you. Wow.
Thank
If
you.
more people could learn that, we wouldn't have any trouble anywhere in the world. All right, Lisa.
All right.
You're
Take
amazing.
care.
Thanks so much.
Thank you. I feel the same. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.